Oh my. Hey everyone. Oh my. Yeah, I'm outside. I'm really feeling a bit but I'm cool. Let me see if I can turn on this phone. I'm outside, I'm feeling a bit greasy. It's okay. Huh. Hey everyone. Hi. Hey everyone. I'm gonna wait till some people get up in here. Drink me some cool water. How's everybody's Saturday going? What has happened? I've just been sitting out here. I was like, you know what? It's my time of rest, my time to just chill. And it's such a beautiful day out. I don't even know if I can turn this phone around so that I can see what I see. But it's truly a beautiful day out. How's your Saturdays going? I I did a video, I think it was about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and I had received a call. I'm not gonna say the person's name, but the conversation was really cool. I hope you're hearing me. Are you hearing me? Let me know you're hearing me. All right. The conversation was pretty interesting because I like stuff like that. I like people to, either comment or get back in touch with me, talk to me. Let me know where you are. There's literally genuine people that are out there that are willing to listen so that they're able to help you. Everyone has taken this social media as a place to just show up and just show your best self. And no one ever tries to, and I can't say no one, there may be some people, and I'm one of those people who would show the authenticity of what's really happening in life, what's going on, and life is lifing. Life is doing its thing. But the thing is, are you living? Are you taking time to just breathe in the amazing fresh air that is free, that has been given to you, and just see exactly, look at the stars. I'm not seeing stars now, I'm seeing a whole lot of cloud, the air. So I'm taking all of this in and I'm getting downloads that I really wanted to share with you all today. And I'm going to go deep a little bit on husbands. But before then, I'm going to say kudos. Kudos, kudos, kudos to wives. Wives, kudos. And I give you the kudos because many of you are truly trying. Many of you are trying to figure things out. Many of you are doing well. You're doing okay. You've turned yourself into a wise woman. You've turned yourself into a wise woman, and that's a blessing. I thank God for the women that are in my life and were in my life. Women like my mom, my grandmother, which is her mother, my mother in love, my husband's mom. I have my aunties, Auntie Joke, Auntie Bossa, so many of them, Chief. And I've learned so much from their life. I've learned so much from their life. I've learned a lot from their world. Um, and it has truly added value, amazing value unto me. And it dawned on me the other day when I sat down and began to wonder, how did I get here? How did I become this woman who is so fascinated by marriages working, fascinated by having a healthy family, fascinated by women taking care of themselves, um, fascinated about marriage in general, family in general. And when I sat down and I began to write, I realized that at a very young age, we were living in Brooklyn at the time. Edwardsville, to be exact, if you know where Edwardsville is, Guys, get in here. You can share this, invite people. Let's have this conversation because it's going to be a conversation. This is not, it's going to be a conversation. So I'm looking back and I realized that at the age of 12, when we were still living in Brooklyn, at a very young age, I was a bit confused. My parents were from Nigeria. I'm growing up in Brooklyn, New York. I have siblings. I'm the first of five, you can say six that I know of. And going to school, I went to private school. So whenever we got back home from private school, you change your uniform, you eat, do your homework, and that was it. You were not going nowhere else. And I used to look out the window, and a lot of people that lived in the neighborhood, they were outside jumping double dutch, playing, eating ices, sitting down with their boyfriends. And that was not my life. And I began to wonder, like, I'm saying this story because I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere. So, but my parents were working parents, and when we get home in the evening, we all eat pounded yam together. We all eat yam together. I love that. We all ate together. But I realized that I was different. Different because, like, I had friends at school, but the ones around my neighborhood, I really didn't know them as much because I was going to private school, they were going to public school. So when I graduated, sixth grade, graduated from elementary school, it's called Tabernacle Elementary School, Kosciuszko at the time. I told my dad, I said, Dad, I want to go to IS 320. Now, IS 320 is a school that's in the back of the house. It's a public school, but I can walk to school. I can get to know people. I can get to, have friends in the neighborhood. And it's not a uniform school, so that means my parents had to buy me clothes. Yes, buy me clothes. And boy, oh my God, if you are an African child raised around the 80s, oh, you so understand that your outfit was not the coolest outfit. You were going to get the most affordable that your parents could afford to put on you. So I didn't think of that. And that's exactly what happened. And I was extremely skinny. So my mom couldn't find no clothes that fit. So anyway, started going to IS 320, Jackie Robinson. And people would just pick fights for nothing. Like in public school, you start a fight, you get in trouble. But in private school, you start a fight and get in trouble. In public school, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So I began to try to figure out who I was in all of that. Trying to figure out who I was because it was black on black. You know what I'm saying? Like I was confused. It was, you calling me African booty scratcher? Aren't you African? You black? Like, what you call me African booty scratcher for? African booty scratcher? What does that even mean? So I used to get upset. And I became friends with the Jamaicans. And if you knew about those times, you knew. However, at the age of almost 13, my parents took me to Nigeria. What I was really trying to figure out was, how come I had parents and my friends, they all had their mom? They had moms. They didn't have mom and dad. Like on Sundays, 7 o'clock in the morning, everybody and their mama, we all up, getting ready for church, getting ready for church. We don't eat. We don't eat in the morning. We never even know about. We never even thought about that. We don't eat in the morning. Everybody get ready, get in the car, we go to church on Sundays. And it seemed as if, and when we came back from church, when I would go outside and say, "Oh, Dad, can I go outside and play?" Play where? With who? I'm like, my friends are outside. Yeah. Now I'm going to public school. I got some friends now. So I'll go outside. Or I'll ask him to try to look inside the fridge and see maybe there was something we needed to buy because the store was right across the street. So I'd be like, Dad, we don't have any more cereal or we don't have any more milk. And we're like, we gotta take $5, go and buy it. Okay. I will go across the street. And because a lot of African parents, they don't let their children go out. You don't go, no, you play in the house. You play in the house. Go outside to play with who in the house? So I say that to say that I begin to notice that a lot of my friends, a lot of friends in that neighborhood, a lot of people in the school that I knew were all being raised by their mom. How come I have a mom and a dad? Like, that was not the norm. So something in me triggered that I would like to know why. Any one of my friends that I spoke to, I'd be like, "Where's your dad?" Their face just changed, and they'd be like, "I don't talk to him. I don't even know him." What? You don't know your dad? So I think from that age of 12 is when something really birthed in me, and I began to try to figure out what makes a happy home, what makes couples stay together, what keeps a family together. I began to look at my mom, the things that she was doing. So it's natural for us. I mean, I guess for me and my siblings, it just comes natural to cook, natural to take care of yourself, natural to go to church. That's the home I grew up in, you know. Then when I got to Nigeria, I began to look at families there, and they had mom and dad. I literally saw every home with a mom and dad. So every home that had mom and dad, their kids were there. Even though I will see that the wives did majority of the things, but mom and dad. But I used to sit down with my grandmother and I used to ask a lot of questions. I would ask a lot of questions. So to make that long story short, again, what triggered this conversation that I'm having today? So yesterday morning, I was reading um, Proverbs. And you guys, when we go to Proverbs, I think every woman has heard, they've heard more than enough of Proverbs 31. Amen. And I was reading Proverbs, and I'm reading it from contemporary. I know a lot of people say, you're from contemporary. Why can't you King James? Look, leave all of that. Leave all that matter. Let me show you here um, what I found out. What I love so much. Okay, I'm looking at Proverbs. Can you imagine? I'm looking at Psalms. So this is what we're on now, but I'm going to tell you. Proverbs 31. Yeah? One thing I love so much about God is that he loved the way that all of us are just so different. And he accepts us all the same. We don't all have to be the same. It's in our difference that he really, really enjoys. So I was reading this, and it said what King Lemuel's mother taught him. What King Lemuel's mother taught him. And it says, these are the sayings that King Lemuel of Massa was taught by his mother. My son Lemuel, you were born in answer to my prayers. Ah, that touched my heart. You were born in answer to my prayers. So listen carefully. Mothers, what are we saying to our children? What are we teaching them? What are we calling them? I'm saying this because I'll come back to that story later. Don't waste your life. What are you telling your sons? What are you telling your daughters? You know, it says, teach a child or train a child which way to go. And when the child gets older, he or she will not depart from it. He or she will not depart from it. Whatever you've taught them. This is the reason why I look at the world this way now. That what you don't know, you will not taught. But until you now decide that I would like to myself personally seek out personal development or self-development, till you personally seek that out, will you ever be able to know more? Because Lemuel's mother said, you are an answer to my prayers. And I want you to listen carefully. Listen carefully. Don't waste your life chasing after woman. Wow. Do you? Don't waste your life chasing after woman. This has ruined many kings. This has ruined many kings. Kings and leaders should not get drunk or even want to drink. Drinking makes you forget your responsibilities. You hear me? Drinking makes you forget your responsibility. And where am I going with this is that stay at home and drink. Be that responsible. Stay home and drink. Drinking makes you forget your responsibilities. So you're a king. You're a queen. And you're out there doing all sorts. And expect all sorts not to happen to you. What? How does that work? Okay. How long is that going to take? All right, I'll call you. That's my son. He wants to go out with his friends. No problem. That's my Josh in the neighborhood. Love him, love him, love him, love him. Anyway, back to our discussion. Kings and leaders should not get drunk or even want to drink. Drinking makes you forget your responsibilities. And you mistreat the poor. Beer and wine are only for the dying or for those who have lost all hope. For those who have lost all hope, will now begin to. I'm not crucifying anybody with this feeding. I'm not even where I want to go. I'm still getting there. The first part I wanted you to know that Lemuel's mom called her son and said, I want you to know that you are an answer to my prayer. Meaning that we don't know how long it took her to have him. Maybe she was married and it took her a long time before she got pregnant. Maybe she was having daughters after daughters and this is her first son. It could be anything. She said, you are an answer to my prayer. Let them drink and forget how poor and miserable they feel. But you must defend those who are helpless and have no hope. Be fair. be fair, and give justice to the poor and homeless. Mind you, Lemuel is a king now. He's a king now. And now it gets to in praise of a good wife. This is where I'm going. In praise of a good wife. You see, no one teaches a woman how to be a good wife. We pick up things here and there and there. No one, I've thought about that class before. Teaching women how to be a good wife. And I'm really excited of the ones that we have now, which is the elite's wife way. A truly good wife is the most precious treasure a man could find. Her husband depends on her and she never lets him down. With all of that being said, I'm going to put this down because you know the rest of that story. My title today was Husbands, Wives, Let's Talk. What's going on in the world right now? To me, I think it's worse than COVID when it comes to relationships. I really think it's worse than COVID. It's horrible when it comes to when I'm talking about marriages or even a woman self-worth. For a woman to know who she is. This is even before you even get married. To know who you are. Not to fake who you are. Not to sedate who you are. To truly, truly know who you are and love all of who you are. And show up in who you are. So that the man that you're going to marry would not be a fake man. Because a lot of women are marrying fake men. Why? Because the person that you are showing up as is really not who you are. So you end up now with a person who is in love with the person that you showed up as. He's in love with the person that you showed up as. And then now you get married and then you want to show up as who you are. And then you want that man to love you for who you are. Sis, when did who you are show up again? After marriage? You have to show up as who you are in the beginning. Let him see that part of you. Let him love that part of you. And then when you're in marriage, there's nothing new. It's still who you are. I would see some wives. And boy, I'd be like, Lord have mercy. Whoa. Because that's not what they look like on Sundays. It's not what they look like on Sundays. On me personally, to tell you, I'm a makeup chick. I just love makeup. I think it comes from my childhood of, I just love makeup, right? And today I'm not wearing any makeup though. I'm home. It's Saturday. My children, everybody's fine. My husband, he went out to run this morning. I would usually go with him, but I didn't go today. And I'm sitting in my back. I don't even know what they call it. I have an English name for all this stuff. And I'm sitting here and I'm just feeling extremely blessed. Do I have it all? It depends on what is your definition of having it all. My definition of having it all is yes, I do. And I'm so grateful. And as human beings, we always want more. So we can be a blessing to others as well. The reading that I read, it says King Lemuel's mother called her son and said, "You are an answer to my prayer." And she gave him advice. Many mothers are not doing that for their children. Many mothers are not talking to their children. They're not having any conversations with their children. Rather, they're speaking in anger to their children. And they want them to do this and they want them to do this to their children. And I need to educate you that you are a guardian. You're the guardian. Your job is to speak life into them. Our job as moms, as parents, is for our children to be able to run to our bosoms and know that they are okay. Husband, your job as a husband is for your wife to be able to know that she can run to your arms and it's always open and it's always a place where she can rest and lay and know that it's a place of safety, not a place of harsh words. Not a place of harsh words. I did a live a couple of weeks ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. You can go into my Facebook and see it there. And I was literally talking about women taking care of themselves. And like I was saying earlier, I got this call. And the guy was saying that I need to start telling these women the truth because many of them are not doing what they're supposed to do. And many of them are out there calling it self care. And I had to ask him, they're out there doing what exactly? And he explained to me. And I was highly broken because if that's what women are doing, if that's what wives are doing, hey, Jesus, if that's what wives are doing, then you're not an elite wife. You're not to be called an elite wife. What do I mean by that? Is that to know who you are does not come from the accolades that the world has given you. To know who you are does not come from. Let me see whether you guys are hearing me and seeing me here. To know who you are, let me see. Okay. To know who you are does not come from another man telling you that you're beautiful, another man telling you that, your husband's not taking care of you, I can do better. Your worth, your self worth, who you are, it should come from inside of you. It should come from what you are telling yourself. You don't even need your husband to tell you anything. It should come from, because when I hear stuff like that, then I know for a fact that that woman has no self-worth. I know for a fact that woman has no self-worth. If you're going to be married, let's talk about this. You're married. You have children that you are still disciplining not to do certain things. But you're married and you're out there. Huh? Huh? Out there doing what? Huh? You are a married woman. Yeah, married woman with or without children. You are a married woman and you are doing what exactly out there? I was confused because, and he was like, "Oh, you're trying to tell me you don't know?" I mean, excuse me, excuse you. I live so doggone far away from whatever that I I don't even go to parties like that anymore. Like back in the day when we first moved to Georgia, like we would have, people in the church do naming, do so many things. We go, ladies, come on now. I'm still shocked. Like I'm shocked. I'm But what I'm going to tell you as a big sis, as what Titus, I'm going to read from Titus, what Titus said. And that's the reason why I started a 30-day. For those who can hang, we can do it together. For those who can hang, we can do it together. Today is literally the second day. I did a 30-day. It's going to be a 30-day of not just prayer, but also 30 days of you understanding that your children are your fruits. It says, by thy fruits we shall know them, right? Your children are the fruits that you brought into the world. That follows, whether you know it or not, they follow you. They're connected to you spiritually. You think what you do in the dark would not come into light? You know why I even said, you know what, I have to get up and do something. Because your husbands, ladies, your husbands, whether you know it or not, are watching me. They're listening to me. Because many of them know that either their wife is following me or she's in my Married Let's Talk group or something, but they're looking at who is leading their wife. And for me to hear such a thing, I was like, she ain't get that from here. That's one thing I know she ain't get from here. And this is another thing that really, struck me when I was thinking about what can we do. It says, and this is Titus chapter 2, verse 3. Tell the older women to behave. No, let me read it from the beginning. It said, Titus, you must teach only what is correct. You must teach only what is right. Tell the older men to have self-control. Did you hear that? Men, have self-control. I love being out here because I feel like as if I'm in a sauna. It's coming out of me a little bit, and I love it because then I'm just gonna, after this, I'll just go take a shower. But tell the men to have self-control and to be serious and sensible. Men, did you hear that? Be serious and sensible. Their faith, love, and patience must never fail. So the instructions was to the men. Husbands, you hear me? You hear me loud and clear? They said to tell you to have self-control. They said to tell you to be serious and sensible. They said to tell you not to allow your faith, your love, and your patience to fail. Now it goes into tell the older women to behave as those who love the Lord should. Tell the older women to behave as those who love the Lord should. They must not gossip about others or be slaves of wine. They must teach what is proper. So the younger women will be loving wives and mothers. Each of the younger women must be sensible and kind. Husbands, they say you need to be serious and sensible. Wives, they say you need to be sensible and kind. Okay? Be sensible and kind. Each of the younger women must be sensible and kind, as well as a good homemaker. I remember when I used to say, oh, it's good for a woman to know how to cook. I would hear, what do you mean? We ain't made for the kitchen. God. You see all of that stuff? That's what's caused where we are now. That's what caused all the nonsense that's happening in the world now. Before we used to be able to say, when you wanna, when you when you want, it used to be like, a way to a man's heart is what? It's through his stomach. A way to a man's heart. A man will marry you because you know how to cook. He won't even see, he won't even see what you're lacking. He won't even see what you're lacking. You don't use food to tie him down. I promise you. I promise you. You see what it's saying here? That's the Bible. And the craziest thing is, it's Christians that would tell you, oh, you don't need to know how to, you don't need to know. It says, be a good homemaker. Be a good homemaker. Who puts her own husband first, not somebody else's husband, your husband. It says you put your husband first, not pointing at other people's husband and how Femi is doing his wife and how Tolu is not doing and how Megan is not and how Joshua and how, y'all hear what I'm saying? It says put your own husband first. I teach this because it's needed. This is Saturday. Some of y'all, you home. So if you're home, you listen to me. Let's have this conversation. You can ask questions. I'm gonna be here for a minute. I got that time today, but no. Let me see what time it is. All right, me and my husband we got a date at 4 o'clock. We got a date at 4. So I got time for y'all today. Today's Saturday. Should I read that again? Okay, let me read it again. For those at the back that didn't hear. It is the word of God. The Bible that you carry to church on Sundays, and then when you get home, you leave in a church bag until the following Sunday. The same Bible, that same Bible. The Bible that you take to church on Sunday, and then maybe you put on the top counter of your bedroom when you get home on a Sunday, and don't pick up to the next Sunday. It said here, Titus, please go back and read it. Titus 2. It said for you to stop gossiping. Yeah. It said for you to stop gossiping. Okay. Then it says, the older wives, the older wives, the one that have been married for years, yeah. The older wives that are thriving in their marriage. Not the one that are striving, the one that are thriving. Thriving meaning they figure this stuff out. All areas of their life is living. They are thriving in family and business and in marriage and relationship. They thrive. It said this. So the older ones must teach what is proper. So the younger women will be loving wives and mothers. Each of the younger women must be sensible and kind, as well as good homemaker, who puts her own husband first. Then no one can say insulting things about God's message. No one can say insulting things to the God that you say you serve. No one can say insulting things. We get to church these days and people, they be pointing fingers and looking. Oh, Lord, I usually don't know what the heck is going on because I sit always in the front of the church. It's me and the word of God and the choir. And after I'm done, I'm out because I don't have time for it. But did y'all hear this? So I consider myself an older woman, an older wife. And at the end of the day, the craziest thing, and I think a lot of times the reason why people don't want to say anything It's because the people that said something to you will now turn back around and say you said and you did and you. It's just a horrible thing. But you know what? Don't let people pull you out of your calling. Don't let people pull you out of what God has called you to be. Did they not insult Jesus? Did they not insult the disciples? No matter how good you try to be, you can never be good enough. You better believe that. You can never be good enough. Even the words say, ain't nobody good. Take it, take that. Try your best to live your best life. Try your best. Try your best to elevate yourself. That's why I clap for the women in the beginning, because I clap for the wives, because I see that is mostly women that are going out there to these conferences. It's mostly women that are trying their best to do the personal development classes. It's mostly women. Mostly women. If money is circulating, it's women. It's women. It's wives. So I give you all kudos. Now, when you are a wife, married for over 10 years or more, and you hear such a thing, that the word of God is saying that he wants you to teach the younger ones. First of all, sit down and check yourself out. Are you doing the right thing? Are you representing what an elite wife, a kingdom wife should be? Are you representing that? Or are you just trying to live, do whatever? Huh? Who does that? I've told you guys time and time again, marriage is an assignment. It's work. Ay, yeah, 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 yeah. It is work. It's work. It's work that never gets done. It's work that's never finished. It's work that you continue to do all the days of your life. It's work. Whether you're praying for your husband, praying for your children, praying for your home, covering yourself, covering your job. You're always wifing, you're always mothering, you're always. You're the doctor, you're the nurse, you're the friend, you're the lover, you're this. And you know what? God instilled all of that in you because he knew you can handle it. He knew. So that's why, for those who are still aspiring to become a wife, you need to come to one of these classes. You need to listen to me and listen to me well. To know what you are getting into. Who goes into a battlefield without knowing who she or he's going to battlefield with? You go on a battlefield and you're not prepared. You ain't got no bulletproof on. You're not carrying your machete to war. Why does it always have to be that? Gotta be that, because now you're not only thinking for yourself, you have another mind that you have to sit down and figure out, well, he said this. What did he really mean by that? He just shared this with me. God, what am I supposed to do with this? We are planners. We are strategists. We are, as a wife, you are everything. You're everything. But if you're not schooled and you don't know, you'll begin to use the mindset of your singlehood to live in your marriage. And that ain't gonna work. You have to know this man that you're living with, this man that you decided to say, I will marry. You have to know his weaknesses, his strengths. You have to understand him. I love what I heard this morning. And the woman was saying that there's two sides to all of us. Two sides to all of us. And a man, there's a king and there's a fool. And a woman, there's a queen and there's a fool. It depends on which one are you talking to. Which one are you nurturing? Which one are you elevating? Are you elevating the king or are you elevating the fool? Which one are you elevating? Which one? Which one are you speaking to? You can't be speaking life to a fool. Because a fool is going to be a fool, be a fool, be a fool. And what knocks me out is you're speaking to a fool with the hope that he'll become a king. No. You got to speak to a king with the knowing that he's a king. No matter how small that man is, no matter how small that man is, he's a man. He's a king. Go and learn. Woman, learn. You don't even got to come to my class. I'm just so excited. And what I'm gonna do, I'll probably give you guys like some read-ups that you can read about it. But I'm so excited about Thrive 360. Is enough. Enough is enough already. Enough is enough. We must begin to tell ourselves the truth. Money is not everything. Money is beautiful, it's amazing, but it's so beautiful and amazing when you share with the people you love. You have all the money in the world, you ain't got nobody to share with. What's that? Huh? That selfishness is loneliness. But when you have, which all of you have the money. If you've been to my money class, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody, God has given you everything you need to live in this life. But it's up to you to call those things that you do not physically see as though it is already. That is up to you. This Bible is complete. Call those things that are not as though they are. What does that mean to you? Husbands, call those things that you would love to see in your wife. Call it out of her. Call her by that name. I promise you, she will begin to show up as that. Wife, take your husbands. See them as kings. Stop seeing them as if they are a burden to you. See them as kings and begin to call that out. Begin to call that out. That's why some people, they get a divorce by the time the man is married to another woman. You begin to see him set up differently. Like he looking amazing. He looking different. And then the woman gets upset because he married somebody else and now he's doing better. Why are you upset? You couldn't sacrifice anything of yours to help that man be better. It's our job. It's a part of the description. It's a part of the requirements. What does a helper mean? If you read Psalms, you read some places where it says, Lord, my helper. God, my helper, help me. God made a woman a helper of a husband. We are literally almost like their Holy Spirit. That's why some men, when we tell them a good woman, an elite wife, when she sees something coming up, she warns her husband. Even though some husbands, hey, yeah, she's a jealous woman. Leave them. Let them say whatever they want to say. You give the message. Won't you give the message of what you have seen, what God is showing you? It's up to him whether he's going to be careful. If he ain't going to be careful, it's okay. Give the message and then go back and begin to pray. Because at the end of the day, what eventually affects him affects you. Yeah? Begin to pray. Begin to pray. But I loved what this book said. Older women, I need you guys to let us come together. Many of you are coaches, you are helping women, you want to help women with confidence, you want to help women. We need more than that, sis. We need more than we need a doggone transformation at this point. That's what we need. So I'm ready to collaborate. I'm ready to work with women, older women, who are married for a while. By the grace of God, there's a conference that we can have this year in order to call our younger women in marriage and bring them and pray for them and share insights with them and be truthful with them. Marriage ain't no child's play. What, are you kidding me? Marriage? Ah, yeah. We're two people who are coming from total different places, even sometimes totally different cultures, totally different background. Your wife, your mother, your husband probably grew up with just his mother. You probably grew up in a place where it's you and your parents. His mother won't stay out of the marriage. I'm still going to have that video. Mothers, it says a husband will cling to his wife. Step out of it. Husband, stop making your mother seem as if she's the creme de la creme of your marriage. Negative. Wrong. Wrong. Nobody's saying to go and beat up your mother, but you can take care. If you and your wife sit down and say, look, or before you even get married, is there an issue with me being able to support my mother? Or when we get married, we support both our parents with this much amount. Is there going to be an issue? Find out these things. Find out these things. Some men, is my mother. What am I supposed to do? Are you the only child? You're not the only child. Okay, talk to your siblings. And you guys figure out how y'all going to come together and help your mother out. How much you guys going to be giving to her every month? Where do you want to put her? Does she want to stay where she's at? Find all of that out. You do it with your siblings. But for you to put your mother on top of your wife, it's a no-no. I'm sorry. No, it's a no. And people that know me know that I love my mother-in-law. God gave me the right one. God gave me the right one, guys. I love her so. Like she literally, she didn't replace my mom, but you know why? You know why I care for her so much? Let me teach y'all a little something, ladies. Just a little wisdom here. When you love your husband, if your husband is a good man, he's a good man, you have to go and find his mother. You take care of his mother. You do for his mother. Men, on the other hand, husbands, on the other hand, they can sit down with you and say, okay, fine, this is how much we can be sending to mom or dad or whatever. But don't be expecting them to pick up the phone and say, oh, I haven't heard from mom in a week. I want to call her. They're not the one that does that. They don't do it. And don't try to force them to. They don't do that. Many of them don't. They have too much worry on their own plate. They don't do it. Please. These are some of the discussions that I have with my ladies. But you know what I do? A wise woman? A wise woman, you know what I do? On a Sunday, can be coming from church. Can be coming from church, or maybe going to church, but mostly coming from church. I'll just call mom. Hey, mom, how you doing? What's going on? How's daddy? And always, the first, uncle, how's the kids? How's your husband? The moment they say, how's your husband? Hey, Miss Inks, mommy and daddy say hi. Here you go. He's right here, mom. He's right here. He's right here. Give him the phone. We drive and we're in a car. He can't run away. How are you, mom? No. That's it. Done. Done. So pick your battles. Stop fighting battles with husbands that doesn't make any sense. Elite wise women don't play that. That's not how we do. We will find a way. Stop doing things that don't make sense. Fighting battles that doesn't make sense. Before I used to get angry, I'd be like, you didn't even ask for mommy, mom and dad called you. Even my parents can call. And sometimes my husband will be like, I don't want to talk right now. And it's okay. Respect that time. Respect that. It's okay. It's not the mood. Okay. But when we're in a car, or maybe we're in a movie theater, we can be anywhere. I'm not saying physical movie theater. We have a movie theater in our house. And when I know that my mom, because they're always asking for him. And it was just so crazy because these things that we bicker about as women, eventually it will work out. But it's you that have to soothing the way. Men don't like to be forced into nothing. They want to let you know that they are a man. Can't force them into anything. But one thing I do want to tell you, husbands, if you are that husband that puts your mother on top of your wife, it's a no-no. It's a no-no. Love your mother. You've had your time. Love your mother. Love your mother. Care for your mom. You know what I'm saying? But talk to your wife. Hey, my love. So after we sitting down deliberating on bills and this and that, is it okay if, you know, I mean, we're not paying their mortgage, but just to show gratitude that you're grateful. Is it okay we give them $100 a month? Is it okay $200 a month? Sometimes the wife will say, listen, we can give them more now. Sometimes the husband will say, oh no, we can add more to it. Talk about those things. How much do you want to pitch in? Yeah, you're not the only child, so it's okay, but do your own for your own blessing. Do your own for your own blessing. Because when I listen to some reasons why there's a divorce, I begin to laugh because a lot of times people don't remember the reason why they divorced. They don't remember. They'd be like, I don't know. I just know I can't live with him. I don't even remember. I don't want to remember. I just know I can't live with him. I know I can't live with him. Okay, fair. Fair. But what this is about now is older women who their marriage is thriving. You're not saying that you're complete, that you have it all together. When I was called to start Married, if you're married, let's talk, MLT, I ran like a Jonah. I said, God, I'm going through some things in my marriage. Nope, I ain't going there. Nah, man. But I was called. And he showed me that a lot of women, you can see them on the outside and they rah, rah, and everything is, but when they get home, their walk-in closets, that's where they pull off the wig, take everything off, and they begin to weep and cry unto the Lord concerning their husbands. But one thing I want to tell you is that you have to sit down with your husband. And before you do that sitting down to ask certain questions, look at the way he does things, the way he acts around his children, the way he acts around his friends, the way he shows up. Learn some things about him. Find out whether your husband's temperament is either a choleric, a sanguine, phlegmatic, or melancholy. Those four temperaments, those four personalities are things that you cannot tamper with because it's in the fiber of their being, is who they are. But if you don't understand that, you're going to think when a choleric person talks to you, you're going to think he is the meanest, self-centered, selfish man that you've ever met if you're married to a choleric, because they are the ones who are prone to be the most narcissistic in personality. They are researchers. They know their stuff. You can't tell them nothing. They don't feel bad about nothing. Whatever they gotta say, they're gonna say it. Whether you're gonna die, whatever. That's a choleric. A choleric, they are such, many of them are such perfectionists. They always see the imperfection in others. They don't see it in themselves. They see the imperfection in others. They can be amazing, amazing husbands. If you, as a wife, truly know how to talk to them, how to reach the spot that only you are allowed to go into. Yeah. If you're married to a sanguine is a person that when he walks in the room, everybody know he here. He is the party stopper, the party starter, the once he enter, everything else is like he's the one, he's the life of the party. Very compassionate people. They forgive quickly because they're very forgetful. They forgive quickly because they're very forgetful. You know. And then again, depending on what they're mixed with as well, because nobody is like 100% sanguine or 100% choleric. They're mixed, 80-20 rule, 50-50 rule. You're going to have to, that's part of something that I teach before people get into marriage. And even while you're in your marriage for a minute, you still need to figure out, who is this man? It don't matter how many years. The oldest client I have, the woman, she's 72 years old. And just found out that her husband is a phlegmatic. A person who is phlegmatic is a person who is not prompted, moved, motivated to do anything more than what he's doing. They're very amazing people. They give good advice. People look up to them and say, you know what, can you lead us? Can you be our team leader? People always want them because they have this amazing way of talking to you. They have this amazing way of, making you feel okay. But many of them are not motivated to be this millionaire, trillionaire. Why you hustling, hug? Ooh, we got to do this. He's like sitting there like, yeah, you go ahead. I got you. You go ahead and do that. They're not into the hustle and bustle of life. They're very easygoing people. So for a person who is a hustler, for a woman who is a choleric, she's gonna think, what kind of husband is this? He ain't adding to my dreams. He not doing anything to motivate what I'm doing. That's the way he was when you married him. That's the way he was before you married. That's the way he still is. So now you've changed, you've seen a light. Now he doesn't fit into your whatever new life that you are. Even though he allows you to be you. He allows you to be you. But he's not because he's not moving at the tempo that you're moving, so therefore he's not even. You need somebody like you. You need somebody who's going to hustle and this is where we miss it so much. So you need to know, what is my husband's temperament? What is his personality? Because they don't change. You're not changing either. You're not changing either. The only thing is that when you find the momentum, when you finally figure out what this is all about. When you finally figure that out and things are working for you, I get it. You want him to move in that momentum. But the only way you can ever get this person, your husband, to even be interested in anything that you're doing is for you not to shove it down his throat. Don't shove it down his throat. You can talk about it every now and then. You can, your excitement, you can talk about your excitement on it every now and then. Your reading on it. He sees you reading, he sees you talking about it, he sees you excited about it. It's so crazy. I remember my husband he said, whenever there's a song that you want us to learn, you'll be playing it over and over and over again in a house. And at the end of the day, they be in a car and they don't even know when they start singing it over and over and over. It's my house, my garden. And in my garden, I love this music. I play this music. Eventually, wife, do you not notice that the toothpaste that you like, that you're using, is the one that your husband is using? The cream that you are using, your husband will use sometime with you. So whatever you are setting up in your home, without it being a fight, an argument, a by force situation, you will eventually. Let me give you another example. So I love Garrett White, and I love what he's teaching because he is so real and raw. And he's talking about how men have sedate the truth so much that they don't even know who they are anymore. And you begin to say, why don't you be the man? Why can't you be he can't be the man because he don't even know what that is. So Garrett is teaching men how to connect with their spiritual self, how to connect with the voice of God that speaks in them. Let me tell you something. If you are not listening from a place where you're hearing God speak, you're going to be running after life. All you're running after is money, and money is running away from you, and you're running after it, and it's running away, and you're running after it, and it's running away. At the end of the day, money is a spirit too, will die. Who's going to pass out? It's you now. You get tired. After a while, you just be like, you quit. You quit. You quit. So Garrett educates men to be the king of their home, to love their queen, to love spending time with their children, and to be businessmen who business flourish. He said in one of his books, he says, so I was reading his book. So I ordered his book. I was reading his book. So as I'm reading his book, me and my husband was traveling and we were driving. And I said, Mr. Yinks, you don't know how I call Mr. Yinks, Mr. Yinks, you already know. I said, Mr. Yinks, man, can I read this to you? He said, sure. So I began reading it. I began asking little questions, And it did something. I didn't say anything after that. And then when I came home, after putting everything away now, I now sat down in my quiet place and I began to listen. I began to read the book. And he passed by, he saw I was still reading the book. As heavy as that book is, when I traveled to Nigeria, I carried the book with me. My husband said, seriously, I'm carrying this book. We get to our place in Nigeria. I have this book right next to my bed. So he's seeing the book. He's seeing that I'm very interested in the book. I'm not even asking him to read the book. I'm not like, nothing, right? Before I go to bed, I read the book a little bit. When I have time in executive lounge, I read the book a little bit. All of a sudden, we're about to leave. Even before we left, my husband says, where can I order this book? I said, why do you need to order the book? Why do you need to order the book? The book is here. He said, no, 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 no. You've highlighted, you've done so many things in that book. I said, oh. And then I gave him the link. We now get to the airport on our way coming. And I have the book in my carry-on. So while we're waiting for the plane, I take the book out and I'm reading the book. Then my husband comes and says, can I read the part that you've already read? Can I read that book? I said, oh, okay. He said, let me read the book so that we can, it can be something we'll be discussing. I'm like, okay. So I give him the book. He has already ordered his own. We begin to discuss. After like maybe 2 hours, he's read some of the pages of the book. He was amazed. And what is Garrett saying? Garrett is saying that men never really had a good example of what it is to be a man. So therefore, pastors don't know what it is to be a man. Governors, presidents, what it is to be a man. Because all they put a man in is in a box that says, your job is to provide. And provide only. So when women is looking for love, and all your husband is doing is giving, 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 but not the love that you need, when would you not find your way out? So this is to the man that called me. And please, I'm encouraging you. DM me, reach out to me. Let's have this conversation. I'm here to help. Called me and say, women are out there doing such and such and such and such. And I'm not saying what they're doing is right. No, no, no. Because there's so many other ways that you can deal with your husband is not giving you love. I'm not saying that you going to get whatever you think you need out there is the right way of doing things. No. But to the man who reached out to me, you see what a woman is lacking in her home, what she's lacking from you. She would not want it to clear up. She will find a way. A kingdom wife. We ain't gotta go through them kind of issues. Because after we done prayed through, after we done gave signs, after we done, and the righteous will take it by force me. But we're all not created the same. So she may feel that the proper way or the proper thing for her to do is to go out there and mess around because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Or maybe because she found out that you're messing around. That was what prompted her to go out and mess around. You're the king of your home. What have you just created? You're the king of your home. And look at it this way. I love what Gary said. Gary said, two kind of men that he has come across and has learned to know. One that may have an okay relationship with their wife and an okay relationship with their children, but they are not making money. They sit there, they're just growing fats, having all sorts of high blood pressure, cholesterol, all sorts of things. They're not making money. They're living, barely making it. Has an okay relationship with his wife, have an okay relationship with the husband, with the children. And there's another man who works out, love the gym, fit, looks really good, making money, have no relationship with his wife, no relationship with his children, none whatsoever, nothing. And these two men, one can be burnout, another can be boredom. It shocks me to know that people will say, my wife and I were living together for the past 3 years. We haven't shared the same bed. Huh? Okay. You ain't share the same bed. You guys having sex? No. That's no longer husband and wife. What are you doing? So Garrett went to churches, pastors, asked questions. What does it mean to be the man? Because it's more than just prayer. It's more than just prayer. He went to his friends to ask. They didn't have answers either. They were like, yo, we don't know. All we know, we provide, we give money. She take care of the kids, she take care of herself, take care of the home. Whatever she want to do, as long as we provide them for her. Really? Garrett now explained where all of this nonsense started from. Taking men to war back in them days. Mothers being the one who have to step up, take care of children, of home. She stepped up in her masculinity, stepped up. This is where you got the phrase, what a man can do, a woman can do better. So she became a man. So he went around looking for, what does it take to be a man? The lies that a lot of men have told themselves is that all I need to do is provide. No. I had marriages where the husbands can give the wives all the money in the world, the house, the car, everything. And she is still very unhappy because what she wants is his heart. I want your heart. I want you. I want you to see me. I want your love. And then some would say, oh, I can give you all the love in the world. If I ain't got money, you still gonna stay with me? You guys are not getting it. It's teamwork. In Ephesians, it says, husbands. What was the commandment? Husbands, love your wife. You know why? Because God knew that that's what we need. Love is our gas. It is our fuel. It's what makes us show up. It's that love. And when we don't get it from home, oh, you best believe that woman who was once your flower, who would bloom and make everywhere happy, will now begin to diminish right before your eyes. And you're watching your queen no longer this amazing, happy, beautiful woman that you married. How does that make you feel? King, husband, head of household. How does that make you feel? That under your jurisdiction, in your empire, you have a queen that you cannot take time to nurture. And because of that, she's diminished. Get to know your wife. Many of them will act as if ain't nothing going on. They good. You don't want to do whatever. Sit down. Get to know your wife. It was God who created us women, and he knew exactly what we need. And what we need from our husbands is love. That's one. It now said, wives, respect your husband. Wives, respect. Because all a man ever wants, ever needs, ever desires is respect. It does something to them. Their ego. Oh Lord. And respect doesn't mean that you enslave yourself to become the cleaner, the cook, the house head. the washer. No. Respecting your husband is actually knowing how to talk to him, how to reach that inner king in him, how to relate with him, how not to boss him around, because that's not. Go on, go on. You have a 5-year-old. Do you have a little son? Go and take your little son and boss him around and see where they. You probably do it because they love mommy or because of fear, but there's no little men. All of them are men. They don't like being bossed around. Even you, do you like being bossed around? So I said a lot today. I did. And I pray that out of all of that, you're able to pick something that resonate with you. And if there's anything, and this is for my YouTubers and my Facebookers, if there's anything, topic or anything that you would like me to expand on, reach out, DM me, because life is lifing, and life, we that are in this life, the way I'm looking at it, I'll give you 100 years. 100 years is not even much of anything. As I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm 50 years old already. Like, I can't believe I'm at half a decade. I'm 50 already. And I look at it like I haven't even done as much as I would love to yet. So there's a lot going on. So to be an elite wife, there's this thing that I've created called Thrive 360. To be your authentic self. We begin to build and create the self-image, your self-image, who you see yourself as, or who you desire to see yourself as. Confident, loving, caring, passionate, how to plan for you and your family, how to plan for you and your children. Your business, is it a business that overwhelms you? Is this something that you can actually digitize so that you're able to, have time for family? It's important. It's important. It's so important. It's so important. If you're married, you're blessed. You're on an assignment. Don't think it's an assignment that you can do alone. And also women who they just focus so much on their work. They have children. They focus so much on their work. They leave the husband. The husband is doing all sorts of things. You see their husbands at every party, just lusting after all these little girls. Lusting. And you see that, you see the wife, and she Lord Almighty looking like, something wrong somewhere. Something not right. Something not right. And husbands, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, when that guy called me, I sort of kind of cried, because it showed me that he was looking for answers. And men are reaching out to me. And I've been working with wives now for over 17 years. And many of them will not reach out and tell you what the heck is going on. You just find out from the grapevine, oh, this one divorced, that one divorced, that one divorced. What? What? And when we look at the reason of divorce, I'm like, seriously? Like, seriously. Do you know how the gifts, the wisdom, the power that God has given to women to be able? Why do you think they call some women witches? Like, she's a witch. I'll be a witch. Let me be whatever. As long as my house and my home is running, I'm good. They call some women, and after they call them witches, because they can't get to their husbands. They can't get to them because they see their husbands following them around everywhere. The wife is, the husband is there. They probably try so many ways to separate them. Now they call the wife a witch because she's using something to block them from getting to him. She's not a witch. She's a wise woman who her husband has connected and said, this one, I must not lose her. Did you not get in the word of God what God says? He says a man. He didn't say a woman that finds a man. He says a man that finds a wife. Not just a woman, but there's a whole lot of women out there. There's a whole lot of them. There's a whole lot of them. He says, but a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. And because of that, receives favor. My husband said, I don't see where in the Bible where it said, a woman that finds a man has found favor. But it says a man has found a wife. Receives favor. So the favor that you had before, now you get an additional favor because you have found a woman to call wife. And a lot of those personalities, a lot of the goodness, the kindness that's supposed to be in a wife, not a lot of women have it. So you got to be careful. Got to be very careful to choose a wife, a mother for your children. Be careful. So I said all that to say, when it comes to marriage, it's a serious business. No one starts a business without knowing what the cost will be. No one does that. Before you get into something, you know how much it's going to cost you. Before you get into marriage, know what your role is. Sit down and the both of you talk about the roles, because each person's role is different. Each person's role is different. Get it? Each person's role is different. Okay? Thing was saying here, he says, as men scramble to try to figure out how to be the man, while women grow tired of the pussies their husbands have become and would rather raise their children alone and fulfill both roles as mother and father than to be married to a deadwood. This is what's going on, husbands. So come out of that. Is a feminist. Is who she's hanging around with. She's hanging around with all these women who they don't have husbands. Well, if that's who your wife is hanging around with, women who ain't got, well, you know you next. It literally says, show me your friend and I'll know who you are. Your wife is hanging around with women who are not married. That's her circle of friends. When she have issues, who you think is going to be advising her? Singles. That's why I be looking these days, all these singles that's giving advice, people that haven't been married 2 years giving advice. What advice you giving? It's about time to be authentic. It's about time to be real. If you don't know who you are, don't get married yet. Because that spouse of yours is not going to be the one to show you who you are. Get into your kingdom character. So women are not choosing to be divorced. Women are not choosing to say, I want to take care of my kids all by myself. It was an action that caused action, that caused reaction, that she got tired of. One. There's so many instances. So everybody's situation is different. Because I know a woman who left her husband's home because her son and the husband could not get along. That's a phase. So the son and the husband could not get along. And the son was just like sad and going in and out of depression. The boy was sad because he wants to be a man. He too wants to show up. So the boy and the father wants respect in his home. So the boy was sad. He was going through depression and going through so much. And a wise woman, the woman who's wise, Don't just pack your bags and say, I'm leaving my husband's home. I'm leaving my home because I don't want my son to kill himself. So you will now go and raise him there. Now, this son of yours, he one day is going to get married. He one day is going to have children. And he one day is going to demand his own respect from his child. What should his wife do? Pack her bags and leave? Because that's what's happening to a lot of people. Can I tell you what a wise woman does in that situation? What a wise woman does in that situation. A wise mother, a wise wife does in that situation. My husband knew his dad, but he grew up with 27 siblings. Father was a workaholic. Grew up with 27 siblings. So obviously, me studying my husband, I already knew that on the father side, he ain't gonna be the best of fathers. He ain't gonna be like, he's gonna say some things. And when it came to provision, yeah, he provides for the family. Be the man, that's all they know. Provide for his family. But you, wise woman, come in. When my son turned a teenager, and he begged, and they will call me. It's my number that's in the school. You call me. My husband working. You call me. The school will call me. And he was in 7th grade. He started feeling himself a bit. And I would go into the school and meet him. Why are you doing this? What's going on? I got to a point where I was like, honey, we're going to take him to boarding school. My husband literally said, I ain't taking him to boarding school. He says, I'm paying too much taxes in this house to be in this neighborhood for him to go to good school. I'm not paying no extra for a child who doesn't want to behave himself. If it's another child that maybe the child is doing very good and you want the child to go to fine, we'll pay $40,000 to put a child in that boarding school. But this one, when I act up and you're telling me to throw out this amount, no, no. I, as a mother, did what? I went to God in prayer. Father, what am I to do? What am I to do? This is a crucial time in this child's life. I need you to understand that between the ages of 12, 13, is as if an alien has taken your child away. An alien, whether a girl or boy, it don't matter. An alien. You guys are speaking different languages. So I went to God like, what am I to do? And God gave me an idea. And that's when all 3 of my children went back home to a Nigerian boarding school in Nigeria. I didn't keep them in the city. I took them to the village. Because that one year I wanted it to be like a boot camp. They could come back to America anytime. But that one year, I wanted it to be a boot camp for them. And that's exactly what I did. But I would go every now and then to see them. Family didn't know about it. By the time my family found out, my kids were already almost coming back to the United States. Did it help them a lot? It helped them a whole lot. It helped them to appreciate education. It helped them to appreciate that America is a privilege. It's not because they have friends. They met friends that they saw how they were living and stuff like that. And boy, they begin to respect people, begin to respect money. So I'm grateful for that. And I thank God every day for that. And when he got back, there were some instances where, because as a man, a father feels like if I tell you something once, I shouldn't have to repeat myself. That's a father. If I tell my son something once, why should I repeat myself? You're not stupid. You're not dumb. You're not slow. So what part of what I told you did you not get? And my husband is a choleric. And he is a man that when he says something, he ain't going to repeat himself again. What do you do as a wife, as a mother? This is your husband. This is your son. I won't say anything at that moment. I will now go to my son. I'll go into his room and I'll call him by his name. I'll first hug him. Say, look, we love you. We do. You're growing. You're not a man yet. You are a man. But in this home, your father is the man. You're still the child that must follow and look at your father, the way he does things. Because the way he does things is what he's expecting from you. So he has expectations. From the day you were born, he has expectations of you. So it's not like he doesn't love you. He loved you is the reason why he's pissed at what you just did. If a father did not care, you can go wrap yourself around the go whatever. That's your life. And I don't want you to get him to that place where he'll be quiet and never shows you that he doesn't like he don't care no more. And I will hear his part. Always listen to these kids. Listen. I will listen to his part, but I will let him know it's all coming from a place of love. Teenage years are the most scariest years, even for me. I grew up as a teenager. I know what I went through with my mom. When I look back at it, it was just me being a teenager. So I know what teenagers are going through. I know the devil that's speaking in their heads a lot of times. And fathers do not want to be disrespected. What did God tell us to do as wives? Respect them. So we have to teach our children to do the same. But when your husband and your son are going through some things and you now step in the middle of that, so I'll go to my son, talk to my son, give him hugs, tell him how much we love him, tell him what's going on, and let him know that, you know what, your father's trying his best. He didn't grow up with a dad, so obviously he's not going to know really how to father you. But I need you to understand that you are his son. And in this house, however he fathers, in a good way, I need you to understand every seed that germinates in this house is his responsibility and mine. Hug my son. Tell him what his father was really trying to say, other than what he's hearing. Tell him what his father's really trying to say. Soften his heart. Give him another hug. And then I can go, depending on the time, I can go into the kitchen and cook a nice meal. Woman, a yarayin brain, be wise. That day will be the day I'll give my husband the best. I will now serve him and make nice food. If you don't know how to cook, what would you do? And if you're not a cooker, but you're a person who, you order food and just serve it. Serve that food nicely. With a nice plate, nice serve, and serve him. Sit next to him as he's eating. Join his food. Talk about other topics. You know, that's not the time for you to come and be talking to him about what just happened between him and his son. No, it's not the time. Talk about other topics, things that makes him happy. Let him talk. You finished eating, right? Okay. Prepare yourself. After you do everything that you need to do, go and take a shower, nice shower. Fix his bed. Place of abode where he's going to lay his head. Put nice smelling. Some wives, you guys don't even know how to spray beautiful scents. That when your husband lay on that bed like this, it's like, oh wow. Find out scents that your husband loves. Things that he's like, it smells pretty good. It doesn't have to be strong, not strong. It has to be something really nice. Find out, what is this? Is it patchouli? Is it vanilla? Is it things like that he likes? Go to Bed Bath, what is it? Not Bed Bath and Beyond, Bath and Body Works. Begin to look at what are some of the scents that men like. Take a couple samples and see which one your husband likes. Begin like that. For me, I'll go take a nice shower. I lay the bed real nice. I can pray in between there like, Holy Spirit, I'm going to need you to help me know how to deliver this message. I don't just go talking to a king. You want to die? You want to die? Go and ask Esther. She has to get permission to. Even you don't have to get permission, but the thing is, how you are going to say it matters. You now ask Holy Spirit, I need your help. I want to speak to the matter that happened. Help me to say it in a way where he will hear it from a place of love, not a place of judgment. He will hear me from a place of love, and these are little secrets that a lot of women don't know, that many of them are just using to scatter marriages. Scatter marriages. Many are teachings for you guys listening. Or you're still running after us. I must make the check. I must make the money. I must make the money. Anyway, I will pray. It's not those prayers on your knees. I can sit down and just meditate. I can sit down and visualize that. How am I going to say it? How am I going to start the conversation? How am I going to start this conversation? Holy Spirit, help me. Let him get it from a place of love and not a place of judgment. Let him not feel that I'm trying to, comfort him. Then I'm in bed. I could be reading a book. If I look at the time and I see that he hasn't come to bed, I can go and meet him where he is. Wear my nice, go and meet him where he is. I say, oh, you're not coming to bed yet? No, I'm just finishing. Okay, I'll sit there. I'll sit there with him. Then when he's finished, then we go upstairs together. Go upstairs together. We get in the room. I'm laying down. He's like, after I check his phone, check his phone, put it down. Now I want to turn over. Sometimes, depending on the situation, I'm going to say, honey, that's when you guys will hear me say honey. I won't say Mr. Yinka again. Honey. You say, well, can I talk to you for a minute? And then we'll have that conversation. Or I'll bless him with the best. Lay it on them. I'm teaching you people's secrets of a wise woman. You ain't got to tell me I'm wise. I know. Forget it. I've been wise before I got married. I don't make decisions on my own. I laid on him. Got down, laid on him. He tired, snoring. He tired, snoring. He sleep. Okay. It can be very early in the morning. 5, 6. Or it can be when he wakes up. And I'm like, honey, can you sit down for a minute? I want to talk to you real quick. I've already given him his food. I've already done what I need to do. So it's now my time. I said, you know what? I understand what you're doing. And it's your rights. It's your rights. But please, the upbringing that you have is different from the upbringing that these kids have. It's just so different. In order for us not to lose them, not to crush their spirit sometimes. Sometimes we'll say things, we don't even know that we're crushing them. Is there a way that my husband can say, so what I said to him yesterday crushed his spirit? I'm like, no, I'm not saying that it crushed his spirit. I'm just putting it into having a conversation. So, so maybe we can show up for him a little bit more. They're young, they're going through a lot. My husband, what are they going through? Are they paying mortgage? Are they paying light gas bill? I put a roof over their proper African man, as you should know now. So I'll be like, I know, I totally get it. I know. But you know what? I'm the one that went to school in America. I went to school here. So I know the trauma that young teenagers go through in school. Because I was saying the same thing to my parents. They ain't understand me. After a while, I just stopped saying it. The peer pressure is real. It's real. I said, honey, there's a lot of peer pressure. Did I send him to school for friends? Did I tell him to go and recruit friends in school? I'm like, I know. They don't understand. It becomes a conversation. And when you feel like your husband is getting a bit heated, you step back a little bit. Bring it down. Bring it down. Bring it down and say, you know what, honey? I love you. You're doing a great job. I'm sorry that all of that happened. You know what? We'll find another way. We'll find a better way by the grace of God. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. You be going between your husband. That's how we do. You are the middle. You are the helper for your husband, and you are the guardian for your son. You are the middle. You are the middle. Eh? To begin to say, I will leave my husband because your daughter is want to kill herself. The husband want to kill the children want to. Excuse me. I've had many times I say I'm going to kill and they've had people that you're the middle mediator, the person that God has sent to help the both of them, and God will help us to do better. God will help us to have the patience that is needed. Because look at it now. My husband was a designer. Now my son is a designer. Now they get along. Now they're listening to each other. The other day, my son calls me and says, you know what, Ma? Dad be having some good advice. I say, oh, really? I say, he does. Having some real good advice. He does. You understand? So you have to be the mediator, the person in the middle that will bring these two together. Because your husband don't know how. And the son don't know how. So how is it supposed to happen? You're learning. You're the one who's going out there conferences. You're the one who's having a prayer team, a prayer partner, or this or that, or that. All of that, when you bring it home, exercise it. Show it. And then in the Bible it says, in all you're asking, ask for wisdom, ask for understanding. Ask God to bring women of wisdom around you, women who are thriving, who are living well in all areas of their life, in their marriage, with their children, with having beautiful, amazing friends, you know, thriving with parents. Ask. There's nothing that is too big for God to do. Some women, they won't ask for, they'll pray, 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 pray. When God is literally trying to knock on a woman, stop this prayer and I want to show you something. Woman. Good women that are going through what you are experiencing or that have been through it are knocking the hearts, knocking the door. That you can just pick up the phone and talk to, and they would give you good sound advice. But you see, we talk about the pride of a man. You see the pride of a woman. Hey, that woman will watch everything crumble down because of her ego. I don't want to discuss my business with anybody because I don't want any of them coming to talk about my that business that you say is your own business right now. When it becomes the whole town's business, you now see what you do. Woman, it is well. It's like I said, we out at 4. This is my time to go spend some time with them. You know, we have our time and then we have our time. You understand? We have our time and then we have our time. So look out for Thrive 360. I have the podcast. I'm going to add the podcast to this so that you guys will get it. Listen, learn, add to yourself. Don't rush him. Don't force him. Be the vessel that God has sent. A wife is God's weapon in marriage. Who was the first person that saw Jesus? When the stone was rolled and she went there like, where is he? What happened? Who was the first person that also met him on the way? We are emotional beings. We connect. Stop fighting your husband. Oh, he's not going to church. He doesn't want to. Will you drag him to church? Do you even know why he's not going to church? Do you even know what's happening in some of these churches? Huh? If he's not going to church, go and sit down and ask him, okay, which church do you want to go to? Wherever you want to go, I'll follow. Which one do you want to? That's exactly what I demand. Which one do you want to go? Because me, I already know God. I know Jesus. When I open up my Bible, my what is it? My quiet time. I have a relationship with God. I don't need to be in a physical anywhere. I'm always in His presence. But you want to be grounded and think of God. Okay, fine. What church do you want to go? And me and your children will follow. Period. Period. I don't know what's happening now. I've said a couple of things in this almost 2-hour conversation that we're having. After you leave your mother and father to cleave to your wife, your parents now become a distraction. Do not allow your parents to be a distraction in your marriage. Your children, your wife, number one in the kingdom. Yeah? You and your wife now sit down and figure out how are we going to do this with mom and dad. Okay? If your wife says she does not want your mama in her house, remember, it is both your houses, right? Ask her why. Find out what's going on. It's not like she's no longer your loving wife. Find out what's going on. Wives, give your mother-in-law the love that she gave you, which is she gave you herself. She gave you her son. If he's a good man, take care of that mother. Take care of that mother. Me and my mother-in-law, we dated every week. Every week, we go out. She doesn't ask my son for nothing. It's me. She comes to me for everything. There's some mother-in-laws out there that are going through a whole lot with their daughter-in-laws, which is so unnecessary. Because you're going to be a mother-in-law one day. Even if you're not, do well. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. So I know my husband, he knows that I'm on a Facebook Live or whatever. He knows I'm doing this. So he's not going to come and disturb me and say, oh, we're having a, so I'm going to go and maybe later on, I want to make this conversation a bit more consistent because I feel like I know in my spirit it's something that is needed. So needed. So needed. You're wealthy, you have money, doesn't buy you an amazing husband. You're wealthy and you have money does not buy you an amazing wife. You cannot buy anybody. You cannot buy anybody. Cannot buy anybody. You can buy a fake. You can't buy an original. Okay. So that's my conversation for you guys this afternoon. I'm literally a little bit soaked with this heat wave that we got going on in Georgia. And I have my books there that I was reading, but I'm just going to go and hop into going out with hubby. And we'll talk a little bit more. If there's any, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'm going to tell you that you need to become a part of the family. That's one. Two, if you haven't, if there's any questions that you have for me, if there's any questions or things that you want me to talk about, let me know. I am all things business, marriage, finance. That's another thing I need to talk about because a lot of debt that's going on right now, and it's crazy the amount of GoFundMe that I've received in a week. Like I'm so tired of it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that you would leave children with absolutely nothing, but for them to create a GoFundMe that they will use to get money to take care of you. It's not fair. With all of that being said, bye for now. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Hold up. And whoever that is that's been watching me all this while, let me know who you are. I got something for you. Because that is amazing. That you spent literally 2 hours with me. In my mind, I think I know who it is, but reach out to me if it's you. I'll know if it's you. Take care. Bye.